I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong or how I could fix that. And so I started to try some of the other options online, the multis. I think I posted in a professional hostesses page, but I'm not sure I knew that's what it was at the time. And so I tried a couple of those, and I didn't have luck with those as well. So when I kind of saw the turnaround with my online sales was probably in the last 2 months, and I guess about 2.5 months. And what I think happened was I just put all my focus on them. I don't participate in any multis. I don't do any professional hostesses. Don't do any of my hosted online sales in a separate place. I do them all in my VIP group. So every single week, they know that I'm going to be posting just for them. And what I have seen recently is that obviously that online sales number go up. And so when I reached out to my customers and asked them why they continued to shop with me, they all had different things to say, of course, but a lot of them said some of the same things. And those things were, I'm sure, what you guys are doing as well. One of those was customer service, good customer service, being available, accessible, answering questions, all those things that we try to do as quickly and efficiently as we can based on our time. The other thing that all of them mentioned was my pictures. They talked about the clarity of the pictures and how they were able to see the colors very clearly. They liked my accessories. I do try to accessorize every piece that I put on my mannequin, whether it be just a necklace, whether it be a scarf. Every time I take pictures of Cassie's or any of my skirts, I put a shirt with it. So I have like a white classic tee that I put on the mannequin, and then I just put the Cassie over it. And then a necklace, maybe a scarf, maybe a Sarah, a Lindsay, a Monroe, something just to give the consumer an idea of how they could style that particular piece. So yes, it does take extra time for me to do those things, especially this week when I had 7 boxes of inventory to photograph and I was trying to accessorize all those pieces, but I do think it helps. And I mean, obviously that was one of the answers they gave me, that they appreciate my styling with all the accessories and that kind of thing, because it gives them ideas on how they can style themselves when they purchase a piece. The other thing that they alluded to was always having new inventory. And obviously that was really hard to do in the beginning because I didn't have the money to do that. Because I said from the get-go, I was not going to use any personal money to buy inventory. Other than my initial investment, I've held true to that. I have only purchased inventory with money I've made from selling other inventory. And so in the beginning, it was hard to place those orders, on a weekly basis. When you're wanting to pay yourself, but you need to buy inventory. But I stuck to it, and I ordered at least once a week in the beginning, and I've worked up to where this month I think I've placed like 8 or 9 orders already, about a little over 400 pieces. And I can tell you that what they say is true, that directly correlates to sales. I had my biggest sales in October of last year. That was the month that I placed a 400 piece order, and I'm on track to have about that same sales this month. And it directly correlates to me having ordered a lot of pieces. So that definitely does help. And they like seeing that new inventory every week. And it doesn't have to be 60 pieces, even 33 new pieces or 30 new pieces, whatever minimum order you place, is still new inventory. So I definitely think that they appreciate that. The other thing that they said, and they all said this was a huge part of why they like shopping with me, and that was that I leave my inventory up all the time. And I went back and forth about this in the beginning. I was, what do I do? Do I take it down? Do I leave it up? And I did it both ways. It's hard to manage it when you've got a ton of in-homes going on at the same time you have your inventory posted. You have to go back and forth between, excuse me, my nose started. You have to go back and forth between marking your items sold online when you're doing those in-homes. But I have consistently had customers tell me over and over again that is why they continue to come back, because they can shop when it's convenient for them. If I'm posting on a Tuesday night and they don't get paid until Friday, and I pull down my albums on Thursday, well, darn it, they didn't have the money to buy on Tuesday night. They wanted to buy on Thursday or Friday when they had their money. And yeah, their favorite piece might have gotten sold already, but there may be other things there that they're interested in. So they have definitely been consistent with telling me that is a favorite feature of theirs, that they can shop anytime. They know if they come to my page that my albums are going to be up, and that they can shop anytime they want to. So what I usually do is literally the day I'm going to post new inventory, I don't pull my albums down until 2 to 3 hours before I post that new inventory. So if I'm posting at 8 o'clock, those albums stay up until probably 5. I pull them down, add my new inventory, and repost them again. And so it just gives them every chance to purchase those items that they've maybe had their eye on. Excuse me. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of kind of how my in-homes have affected my online sales, and I didn't really do this or figure this out until recently, and I was texting with Michelle. My last online sale was week before last, and I did have a hostess, but I sold a little bit over 80 items during that online. And I went through, thanks to Bella Charts, I went through and looked at my customer list and figured out for that online sale, I had 80 items. And from those 80 items, I had about 55 customers that purchased those items. Out of those 55, there were only 5 that I had never met in person. So what that tells me is those folks that are shopping with me are, whether they be neighbors or friends. I'm sure some of them obviously are, but the majority of those people are people I've met at online or at in-home pop-up boutiques. And they have met me in person. We've established a relationship, whether it be, just 5 minutes of chatting, but they know who I am. They know a little bit about me. They're comfortable with me enough to join my page and shop with me online. And so that really hit home with me when I sort of did that research after my last online and saw that, all those customers, 50 of those 55 customers were people that I had a relationship with, I had met face-to-face in person. And so I think as much hard work as it was in the beginning, doing all those in-homes, packing up all that stuff, lugging it around, that building those relationships was so key. And it wasn't instant. It wasn't overnight. I didn't go from month 1 or 2 of having all these in-homes to having crazy online sales in month 3. I'm in my 9th month now, 9 or 10. And I'm just now starting to see the fruits of that labor. So it's not going to be instant gratification. It's not going to be something that happens right away. It just takes time to establish those customers, establish those relationships, and see the results through your online sales. One thing that I have been, I talked to Jamie Abel about this a little bit. The other thing that I think has been super important is building. We talk about building our businesses, but I think the way to build your business is to do 2 things, and they also use the word build, and that's build relationships and build trust. If you can do those 2 things, you will build your business. You will grow your business. The relationships I've kind of already hit on, building those relationships with the folks at your in-home pop-up boutiques. Take a few minutes to chat with them. Find out, when they're checking out, a lot of times I'll say to them, oh, your zip code is such and such. Where is that? Is that close to here? Oh, I know somebody that lives there. Where do your kids go to school? We just have that 5-minute conversation, but it's enough for them to be comfortable with me. And they have that little bit of one-on-one time with me that gives them that relationship that they're looking for. Also, Michelle's talked about her rowing in the wild cards, and I haven't gotten those yet, and I need to, but, I have magnets on my van, And so many people have told me that they have found me that way. I talked to the bank teller about LuLaRoe. I talked to the grocery clerk. If she says she likes my shirt, I tell her about it. I give her my card. All those things are ways that you can build those relationships, just talking about it, wearing it every day so people can see you in it. Build those relationships with your in-home customers too that come to shop with you in your home. Giving them that one-on-one time is going to make them feel super special. And again, you're going to develop that relationship that leads to future sales down the road. And the second build that will help you build your business is building trust. And the way I think that I've done that with my customers is through the close. And what I mean by that is that I'm posting daily. I post daily on Instagram and Facebook with me wearing the clothes. And I think when I talk about building trust, it means that people trust my styling. So they see me every day wearing it and they think, oh, well, if she can put that outfit together, then if I buy this shirt, I know that she can find me a pair of leggings to match, and she'll be honest about it. And, the colors will match up and I won't get it and be like, what the heck is that? So I think that they trust me. And a lot of times I will hear from people and they'll say, I've been watching you on Instagram and Facebook for like 2 months now, and I'm finally just getting the guts to try it, or I'm finally just getting the guts to buy something. And so again, it's that being patient and not necessarily wanting that instant gratification, and giving your customers a chance to trust you and trust your styling and trust your ability to put clothes together and outfits together, and be that person for them that they can go to when they need a new outfit or need something that they can count on you to provide for them that's going to be just what they're looking for. So I think that's what so that's just what I was saying about building your business. Build your relationships, build the trust. The sales will come if you do those two things. As far as like the logistics of what I do to, my online sales and my in-homes, as far as how I sort of get ready for them, I think I talked about it a little bit last time. I do create Facebook events for both my in-homes and my onlines. I do, most of my onlines are with hostesses. Not every single one, but I would say probably 90% of them I have a hostess for, and that works really well for me. Not every hostess is great. Not every hostess is going to be great. I try to prep them the best I can. I encourage them to invite way more people than they think they need to, because only a small percentage of those ladies are going to actually show up, whether it be online or in-home. Only a small percentage are going to show up. So invite 150, because you'll probably get 10 to 12 of those. Maybe a little bit more, but in general, it's going to be a small percentage. So invite tons of people. I make the Facebook event about a month in advance, and then the week leading up to the event, and this is for, again, both in-homes and onlines, the week leading up to the event, I am posting in that event every single day with myself wearing a piece, the piece that I'm featuring. So whether it's the Amelia, the Carly, the Julia, that day I feature that piece. I talk about that piece, how to pick your size in that piece, and then I have a picture of myself wearing that item as well. And so I'm posting in that event every day, and in the day of, I post just a reminder, don't forget to come to such and such's in-home, or don't forget to log on and shop with us tonight at 8:00 for so-and-so's online pop-up boutique. And then for both of those, the onlines and the in-homes, at the end, I post a thank you message. Thank you for shopping with me. If it's an in-home, I post my link to, please join my page. Now that you've tried on all the styles and you know what you like, you can shop with me online. I have new inventory every week. I post that for my in-homes. And then for my onlines, I guess for both of them, I also mention in that post about hosting themselves. Don't forget, you saw how easy it was for Sarah to host her pop-up boutique, and she got 6 new items today. Maybe you would like to get free clothes as well. Contact me about setting up a time. So I do think that I hope that those postings that I do the week before are helpful and kind of build that excitement for the pop-up that's coming. It gets people, if they're new to LuLaRoe, it lets them see the different kinds of things that we carry. It allows them to see it on a person. It allows them to hear about the sizing of that particular item. So I think all those things maybe make people more comfortable leading up to the event if they're new to the brand. Now, what Michelle was talking about with the new posting app that I'm using, it's called Postcron, and it's just like what it sounds like, POSTCRON.
Hey, Alison, before you move
yeah.
on, let me ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So you're telling people about your sales, but they don't necessarily know your numbers. Would you mind telling us what your numbers were, like when you cruise qualified? When did you start, and when did you cruise qualify?
I launched in the beginning of May, and my first month of cruise qualifying was August. So in July, I only missed it by $300. But August, September, October, November were my cruise qualifying months.
Awesome. So you did that fairly quickly. So you must work LuLaRoe all the time and have no kids and not have a job outside the house.
Why, no, Michelle, that's not the case.
Oh, it's not? What's the case?
No, I work part-time at my church 2 days a week, and I have 4 children and a husband, and 2 of those 4 are in school and have homework every night and have sports. We do basketball, soccer, taekwondo, dance, gymnastics. Let me think what else. Not to mention the school activities, that we have, concerts and 5th grade graduation and whatever else comes up. So yes, I have plenty of other personal things keeping me busy in addition to LuLaRoe.
I really just wanted you to brag on yourself for a little bit. That was
well, thank you.
You are, and how amazing you still do with LuLaRoe despite everybody pulling at you. We're talking a lot in our Focus 10 groups about the hats that we wear. So we'll probably do an upcoming training on that. A hat as me, Michelle, a wife, a mother, a consultant, and a leader. And how we really need to be separating those hats. And so that's kind of hard. So I do have a question, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but I don't think it's too terrible of a question. One of the things that people love about you is your customer service and answering them quickly and efficiently. How do you handle that with the family and other pressures upon you? Do you have a certain time where you are done with LuLaRoe and you are cut off? Do you use the nightly time to respond to those messages? How do you separate that family time, since you do have 4 kiddos, from providing that level of customer service? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I wish I had a really good, answer for it.
No, that's okay, because I don't have a great answer for it either, which is why
no, but I'm honest. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not very good about separating it and saying, from 5 to 8 is my family time, and I'm not going to answer a single message, and I'm not going to answer a text, and I'm not going to look at my computer. I'm bad about that, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm trying to get better, especially with things starting to get really busy, school wise for the kids. And so, speak of the devil. So I guess the best answer to that is I try to check them once an hour, and that doesn't mean that I am consistent with that, and maybe it's sooner than that, and maybe it's a little bit later than that, but I try to check it as much as I can. Now, when I'm at work, it definitely is not that often. And I've tried to be better about nighttime and having a time when I actually stop working, because that was my struggle before. Okay, go. Was finding a time to end. Because there's always going to be something to do. So at some point you have to say, I'm stopping right now. It's 10 o'clock, I'm going to bed, or I'm going to. Where did you get this couple flowers? Hold on just a second. Where did you get these? I got them at the store. So, I really need to be better about that, but I have tried to be better, because I'm realizing that working from home is a challenge, because the work is always there. It's not like being in an office. Okay, Go find daddy. I'll be with you in just a minute. Working at home is a challenge because the work is okay. I'll be with you in just a second. Sorry, y'all.
We all get it.
Okay. Yeah, and then you like totally lose your train of thought and you're like, crap, what the heck was I saying?
Well, I know you do have to get back to your family, so I'll stop asking you questions. And if you want to talk about the posting service that you use, I'm sure everybody wants to know about that.
Yes. Yeah. But just to finish that thought, I'm sorry. But yeah, when you're working from home, there's always going to be something to do. Like the work is always there. You're not in office. You can't leave. You know, I worked in the nonprofit world full time for 16 years. That's what I did before I stopped when my twins were 2. And so, although it was a tough job and it was hard while I was there, I got to leave it there. And then I came home and I could focus on my family. With this, that's definitely a challenge because the work is always there and there's always something to do, no matter what. Like you're never caught up. So you really do have to set those boundaries and say, I'm only going to check messages at these times. I'm going to stop work at this time. And I myself am guilty of that. So I certainly need to work more on that as well. So yes, Postcron, awesome thing. I know there are other posting apps out there. I was going to do Hootsuite, but I could not figure out how to make Hootsuite post to events. It could post on your Facebook page. It could post on Instagram for you, but I couldn't figure out how to do it on events. Maybe it's possible, but for me, Postcron did what I needed it to do. So I think it's like, it's free if you only have a few things you need to post on. But for me, I had a lot of different events I wanted to post on. So I pay for the business plan or whatever they call it. I think it's $15 a month, which for me is totally worth it. Because part of my issue is that I get pulled in so many directions that I forget to do those daily postings that I was talking about in the events leading up to the online or the in-home party that weekend. And so this allows me to preset all of those posts so they are automatically posted without me having to remember to do it. So what happens is you go into Postcron and you pick the events. So I create the events in Facebook. Then I can pick those events in Postcron that I want to post to, and I can post to multiple events at a time. So if I know I'm going to say the same thing and for those events leading up to it. So if I have 2 in one weekend, let's say, and I'm going to post the same thing every day in each event, I can do that at one time. I don't have to do it 2 separate times. And what I did was I created a Word document with all of the blurbs that I wanted to post every day so that I don't have to recreate those every time. So I'm literally going into Word, copying, pasting from Word into Postcron what I'm going to say. So, and I even have it broken down by, okay, this is what I'm going to post the day or the week before. This is what I'm going to post every day. This is what I'm going to post the day of. This is what I'm going to post the day after. And I have it broken down in the Word document like that. And then I just copy and paste that information into Postcron. I attach a picture. It always is a picture of me wearing that style. And then I schedule the date and time that I wanted to post. I do post at 9 a.m. every morning. I don't know if I read somewhere or if I dreamed it that's like a social media thing that's a great time to post because a lot of people are reading it at that time. So 9 a.m. our time, I'm posting that onto the event. And I can go in and change that at any time. I can change what time it posts. I can change what day it posts. I can change the content of the post. So obviously I'm going to maybe personalize it a little bit to each hostess each week. But in general, the posts themselves are going to be the same. So that makes my life a lot easier. So sometime this week, because we're getting ready to go into February, I will go in and set up all my posts for the entire month for all my events. So literally, I will not have to think about it again. It may take me an hour, but that 1 hour is going to save me a whole lot more hours throughout the month and a whole lot less. It's going to save me a lot of worry trying to remember to post in those events every day. So I've really loved It's been very easy to use, very user-friendly, very successful. For those of you guys that have teams, the business account of Postcron allows you to have I think it's 6. I'd have to go back and check, but I think it allows you to have 6 team members. So you could actually add the ladies on your team, and they can use Postcron the same way you are, but you're only paying the $15. Like, they don't have to pay to use it because they're using it on your account. So if you have a team and you think it's something that you might want to use, I think that's a pretty cool feature to be able to add your ladies and let them use that app as well. I think that's it. I mean, I do think that post that I do at the end of In Homes, where I say, great to meet you guys today. Thanks for shopping. If you want to shop online, here's my link. I have found that a pretty good number of ladies that come to In Homes and meet me do then join my group and end up shopping with me. So I think that it's effective. I'm still giving out my business card at the pop-up itself, but I do think that reminder of, because they may get home and throw the bag away, let's be honest, with the business card. So that reminder of, oh yeah, I wanted to join her group, and I always post that 9:00 at night. After the pop-up has happened. So maybe they're getting in bed, maybe they read it right before they go to bed, and they're like, oh yeah, I wanted to join her group. And so then they go on over and they join the group, and they're able to see the posts. So I do think that it's been helpful to have those posts after both onlines and In Homes as well. Michelle, I think that's all I had down here to say. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
No, I think that's great. Does anybody have any questions for Alison? Pick her brain about her sales or her onlines or her In Homes, anything?
Nicole said, how many pieces do I carry? Wow, that's a really good question. Do y'all count leggings in your pieces?
I do.
Okay. Then probably about 1,200, I would guess, especially because I just added the Amelia and the Anna this week, actually. So, and I didn't add a ton. I think in the Amelia, I added like 5 in each size, and in the Anna, I only did 3 or 4. So I didn't like order 10 in each size or anything, but I did add them this week. So I think with the leggings, and I have a ton of leggings, that's probably about where I am.
Awesome. Anybody else with questions? Nope. All righty. Well, thank you guys for hopping on. We are not going to have a webinar next Monday since I am going to be away, and Rachel's going to be away, Brandy's going to be away, and Nicole's going to be away. So we are going to resume the following Monday, and then I think that's going to be that special webinar that I was talking about with the business owner locally who's in the Inc. 5000. Who was going to talk about momentum habits and stuff like that. So I think that that will be an amazing webinar, and that will be 2 weeks from tonight. Thank you so much, Alison, for getting on. I really appreciate you. And if there's nothing else, we are good to sign off. I will stop the recording. Thank you.